Right. Thank you, Cynthia. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. And give me a moment, I'm about to share my screen. Everyone see my slides okay?
Yes.
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 All right, thank you. So hi, and we're definitely excited to be here. My name is Jennifer Moore. I've been with Genentech for over 23 years, doing various roles. I've done rotation as well, but I started out in the protein chemistry lab, so I'm a lab junkie at heart. And eventually I worked my way over here to the manufacturing site. So this is a whole new world for me, and I'm learning a lot, but it's fun. So before we get into our presentation, I'm going to hand it off to Greg and Martin to introduce themselves real quick, and then we'll start our presentation. So Greg, you want to start?
Sure. My name is Greg Hahn. I'm one of them. I'm a manager for the facilities and engineering department here at Genentech, and I've been with the company for 17 years, almost 18. Yeah, I have a degree in biology, and so I've had multiple jobs within the company, varying different supervisory and managerial roles, but including instrumentation, utilities, engineering, mechanical supervisor. So it's kind of been moving around all over the place.
Hi, I'm Martin Gaffney. I've been here 25 years, mainly working in electrical instrumentation. That's my background, and I've worked here in that field for the last 25 years. So, yeah, that's about it.
All right, thank you both. All right, so why Genentech? So we're definitely passionate about improving patient lives and creating a healthier community. And we also foster our inclusive behavior, integrity, and creativity while being bold. So here's a quick little video that just highlights the culture here at Genentech.
When we ask questions, we make sure they are the big ones. Questions that challenge our industry. Questions that push the boundaries of science. Questions that take us beyond our labs. There's a reason our work has a bigger impact. We ask bigger questions.
So we enjoy changing lives. We are changing lives together. We embrace diversity and inclusion here. And what sets us apart is our unique values and our ultimate goal to transform society. We believe that diversity and inclusion drives our innovation, and we look at our healthcare access across all facets. And so that is, in a nutshell, the culture here at Genentech. And then I want to just speak to where we're coming from. And we come from the Clinical Supply Center here at Genentech in South San Francisco. We are a small, agile, small volume facility that leverages new technologies and empower people bring innovative ideas. We will provide about 3 to 5 times more benefit for patients at a lower cost, around 50% less cost to our society. So that's as the CSC. You'll probably hear that a little bit throughout our presentation, but I'm going to hand it off to Martin and Greg to talk a little bit more about why we're here and the opportunities that we have here in instrumentation and facilities, excuse me.
So, so feel free to ask questions during the presentation. So the building we currently support right now is the CSC. It's a clinical supply center, so it uses disposable technology. So instead of your traditional big stainless steel tanks and stainless steel equipment, we use bags, like different polymers, polyethylene, that we actually manufacture, or we manufacture and make the product, the medicines inside. So, and everything's fully disposable. And what it allows us to do is really just, to be able to not use so much energy, water, cleaning solutions, things like that. So it's much more friendly to the environment. But specifically what our group does is we support the manufacturing facility by, essentially performing all the calibrations for all the equipment in the building, utility systems, all the equipment that actually makes the medicines. And so we troubleshoot, we do routine maintenance like calibrations and things like that. And, you know, the instrumentation group also supports a lot of the automation engineering and also the traditional engineers who are responsible for essentially maintaining all the equipment to make sure it's still functioning correctly, troubleshooting, and any improvements or modifications to the systems. So I don't know, Martin, if you want to add on to that here.
No, I think that's a good summary of what we do. I mean, we can talk more about the exact job functions within instrumentation if they have some questions regarding that on a day-to-day, what type of work is involved. As Greg says, you know, a big chunk of our work is calibrations. And then a lot of troubleshooting, process and analytical instruments. We get involved in some loop tuning and controls, configuration, the whole gamut on a lot of different engineering parameters. So it's definitely interesting, always kept moving. So if you have any questions, if there's anybody involved in instrumentation that has specific questions, we can answer them as well regarding, I know instrumentation is a very wide field. And so I know you have a program there at that school, but I'm not sure how focused it is on biotech controls.
Yeah, I can tell you that, you know, within the company, there are multiple different positions. We have different types of engineers, from, you know, our utility engineers to process engineers to automation engineers. We have calibration tech, techs, you name it, we have it, and they all support and work together. And, you know, there's also, you know, definitely a lot of cross training going on. So just because you're in instrumentation doesn't mean you won't be learning, say, a lot of the automation engineering function. So it's definitely kind of one of the good things about, at least here in the Clinical Supply Center, where we have a much smaller group. There's only a few hundred people specifically in this building. Although, you know, our group supports multiple buildings within on the campus. The campus at South San Francisco is really large. It's, I want to say there's like 10,000 people that work there. But specifically for the CSC, there's a lot of cross training going on, a lot of collaboration. So there's a lot of learning opportunity there. So, sorry. Okay. So we are looking for interns. So really, the reason why we're here is we want to look for people who are interested in working specifically in the pharmaceutical industry. It's a little bit different than some of the other industries. We have a lot more regulations and things that we need to be aware of. Just because a lot of because the stuff that we make goes into people's bodies, so we need to make sure that that we're highly, I mean, it's a highly regulated industry, but we need to make sure we follow, you know, GMP. If you ever hear of GMP, it's a good manufacturing practice, and it's essentially a system and processes that we use and follow to make sure that what we make is up to quality standards and we're not putting people at risk, so we make safe products. But yeah, and so the type of equipment, so what we're looking for is someone who understands instrumentation and has the ability to learn. You're going to be dealing with a different variety of equipment, you know, all the way from, you know, water systems to HVAC systems to waste systems to process equipment. And so we need somebody who's able to be agile and adapt to different types of equipment and processes, and can learn quickly in a you know, rapid moving environment.
Just had a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for audio feedback. Okay, so for this internship, does a student have to be enrolled? Let's say that this fall would be their last semester, and they'll complete their instrumentation degree. do you guys still require students to be enrolled in like classes related to like maintenance, like electrical or instrumentation, like later on, like just to continue to be a part of that internship program? Or even if the students already completed their degree, they can still participate in the internship? They can.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. To be honest, a lot of the you're going to learn so much on the job, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, you're definitely able to.
Oh, wait. So I'm able to continue to be in internship even if I complete the program already, or do I still have to take classes related to instrumentation or electrical?
No, you do not.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah, but hopefully, if you're already completed the course, you would have a lot of that knowledge.
Okay.
You know, of some. I mean, we have some graduates from that college actually working with us right now, and yeah, you know, there's things they have to learn that they haven't seen. But yeah, if you have the ability to learn quickly, that's perfect.
Okay. Do they also work on like motors and transformers as well?
Yeah,
Or is this-
yes, we troubleshoot motors, transformers. You know, the ability to do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep. There's a lot of work, BFDs. Yeah, the CSC specifically too. As far as the automation engineering too, you're going to be working on a lot of DCS. So like we use Delta V. We use DeSigo building BAS, like the Siemens systems. So there's a lot of DCS systems that you have to work with, and so you have to also be familiar, or essentially you would learn to become familiar. You would get that experience working with those different systems.
Okay.
Yeah, the CSC building itself is a very highly automated system. So a highly automated building. There's a lot of automation going on.
Is South San Francisco the only location that you guys are looking to hire for?
So I don't know if you want to take this.
I can take that real quick.
Okay.
So in my demo later on, I'll show how to apply for internships, and so you'll have opportunities to see across the Roche network, not just Genentech as well, of opportunities. So hopefully that will address our question there, Ryan.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Okay. So, yeah, so job opportunities. So I think, you know, we also are looking to hire. I think ideally, you know, we're looking for interns specifically, but we also, you know, would like to keep our options open, and we also would like to have, we also have job recs, I believe, for information technicians, essentially full-time positions. At least for CSC in our group right now, it's I don't know if you want to get into things like with the shifts, like we work 12-hour shifts specifically for instrumentation. There's a front half and a back half. So you'd work 3 days on, 4 days off, and then 4 days on, 3 days on, or yeah, 4 days on, 3 days off. So they're 12-hour shifts. We also have people who work during the night shift, but although for CSC, I'm not sure we're necessarily going to have that. But yeah, what we're looking for are, you know, in addition to interns, we also are looking to see if there's opportunities for full-time jobs to support the CSC.
Right. I was going to ask about if there were any graveyard shift opportunities, but I guess you already kind of answered my question.
So, yeah, go ahead, Martin.
I was just saying, like, at the moment, you know, we support, you know, the entire campus in South San Francisco here for instrumentation. So we have a large instrumentation department, which I'm working in. CSC is a new building, which has been added to the campus, which we are now supporting initially and going forward for a while, I guess. But the existing buildings, manufacturing buildings, you know, we have about 22 instrument techs here. We support 24/7. And so we're always looking we always have a problem finding good candidates from a good school close by. We've been bringing them in from Washington. We struggle, so we'd like to get candidates locally, because then they probably won't leave, because of the cost of the area and stuff like that. So, just a few months ago, I know we had an opening. We've constantly have openings in our main, department, SSF, which is 24/7. I know the night shift just hired a couple of weeks ago, and they were looking for quite a while. So it's, while we're focused on the CSC in this meeting today, there's opportunities within. This is a very big campus, and we have another group called Site Services, which have more instrumentation than I&E guys. So there's a lot of opportunities here. So I know this is focused on CSC, but I wouldn't just, if I was a student at the school, there's a lot of opportunities here.
Yes. So, there's internships, there's full-time positions, there's also even contract positions that we're looking to fill that would lead to full-time jobs. Right. So in any case, there are multiple shifts across different sites. Different positions have different, work shifts. So like an engineer could be working, 5 days a week during the days. We have instrumentation techs that work days or nights. There's multiple shifts and multiple different roles. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity and flexibility at that. So, even if some of your work requires you, it doesn't necessarily require you to be on campus. So there's, opportunity to work from home in, certain days of the week. So it's really kind of dependent on the role and your experience and kind of the job function. So.
Okay, any other questions for Martin and Greg? So real quick, this is to go into how to apply for these opportunities here at Genentech. And so you can Google Genentech as well, but I also provided the link here on this slide. And I apologize for the quality of the video, but hopefully you'll get a gist of the idea of how to apply and how to narrow down your search. And so here, you're going to want to go up to the top where it says Student and Grad Program, and then you would click on to Internship. And then from there, it's going to open the internship page, and you're going to go down and click on all internship opportunities. And then here in this example, I have typed in instrumentation, and then you'll see how my search narrowed down, and there is a current opportunity right now at Vacaville, one of our manufacturing sites. And so here I'll show you the position, what's required and the qualifications, and then you can either apply or save the job here. And then if you were to apply, once you click on that link, you would add your information there, and then you have an opportunity to upload your resume, or you actually can also link into your LinkedIn profile. So that's just a gist. Hopefully that helped a little bit of how to look for opportunities and jobs. We also, not only do we do internships at Genentech, we also do rotations, and we also have a postdocs too. So I'm going to pause real quick to see if there are any other questions. All right. So thank you so much for inviting us here. Hopefully we were able to provide you some insight on us, our culture at Genentech, and also in the Clinical Supply Center as well, and that Martin and Greg gave you some other facets of Genentech. It's a huge campus, and there's definitely a lot of opportunities out there. So stop sharing my screen.
So I have a question, just because I'm a super visual person, and I can't do the technical talk in terms of the open positions, but I'm curious in terms of the location and the campus. What does it look like in terms of the environment? Is it a gated type of facility where it's high security when you go in? What does a typical day look like just upon entry? I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I've never been there.
So if you can think of, I don't know if you guys have ever been to like a really large college campus like UC Berkeley or UC Davis, something like that. You can think of Genentech as that. I mean, we have 40 or 50 some odd buildings on campus. We basically have a bus system that drives you around because it's so large. We have it, so you can think of it like a college campus. You know, cafeterias everywhere. We have, I think, dental on site. We have a concierge. We have a gym at on site, a full gym with a full basketball court. Yeah, it's like you can. I mean, you could essentially live there. I mean, but yeah, it's really is like a college campus. If that's
We're kind of spoiled.
yeah. And
Yes.
so
Yeah.
Right, just a little bit, just a little bit.
Good.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
and the beauty of it is we're like right by the water. So you get to see the nice, the bay too as well. And we do have colleagues that commute on the ferry. So we do have a Genentech ferry as well too. So as Greg was saying, we have a huge, not just the shuttle on campus, which it's like riding BART, right? You need to know what color line you're going to know which building you need to go to. But we also have like the commuter bus. So we have people that live in Sacramento that commute into Genentech as well. And then you have those opportunities to, you know, they try to definitely make it, you know, accommodate us here at Genentech.
right. So yeah, like if you guys see in the Google buses, we have the exact same thing in Genentech. Basically, they go to every single city and they pick you up. Like I live in Castro Valley, and the buses come by, you know, my house, like a mile from my house every, you know, 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, and 9 o'clock, and then they drop you off. There's multiple times that they'll drop you off right at your, you know, in your city. So I don't have to drive to work. I just take the bus, and it's a mile from my house. And they're big coach liners. They, you know, they are Wi-Fi equipped, and you can sleep on the bus if you want to, but it'll drop you right on campus. There's multiple stops on campus, so it's really convenient, at least for me.
Yeah, awesome. No, thank you for painting the picture there. I would have I had no idea it would have looked like that and had those kinds of accommodations. I do have another question.
Sure.
Sorry, I hope I'm not hogging up the time here. But now, in terms of say the instrument technician position and positions that are highly technical, I get that you do need to have a certain level of technical skill. But in terms of the soft skills that people bring to the table, what would you say would be the number one skill that someone could bring to the table along with their technical ability? So is it their communication skills, problem solving, teamwork? What would you say would be the number one, I guess, soft skill, if you want to call it that?
For me, who works with a lot of the new guys when they come in, is the ability to communicate well, and be listening, you know, to be open to training, right? To be open to input, not to be resistant. And to, yeah, be a good communicator and have good integrity, you know, and, you know, be open to, like, if you don't know something, say it so you can learn it. That for me.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I mean, I'm in management, so I guess for me, the one skill that you have to have is the ability to influence people. But I think also I think what's really important too is to speak up, right? Everybody has a different way of looking at things, and I think that's the way we learn and get better is by you know, taking into account other people's opinions and their insight from their past experiences, and that is what makes the company better. It's not, and really it's thinking outside the box too. I think that is super important, right? We're always focused on the way things have always been done, and so we need people to come in and say, hey, you know, I don't know why you guys are doing it like this. It doesn't make sense. Here's what I think we should do. And so that is super important. It's having a fresh pair of eyes to really look at what we're doing and saying, you know, I think we can do it better. And so that for me is is one of the most important qualities I would be looking for in someone who's coming into the company.
I love that too, that the leadership is open to different people's perspective. It's not like a one size fits all and it's, you know, it's this way and that's it. So yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah, you can't, because, you know, if we're always doing things the same, that means we're not improving. And so we need people to come in with a fresh pair of eyes and say, you know, we should do it this way. Let's try this because it, you know, it could be better. And so that's the only way we're going to get ahead. Our process is better.
I'd like to add on something to that. Another thing that I learned when I was when I'm working is just learn how to prioritize. You know, have a plan. You know, just have everything ready to go before you actually keep going, because it's better to have a plan ready to go just before you actually start doing the job, like I'm doing at Lowe's. So definitely prioritizing is definitely also important.
Yeah, prioritizing is, you're right. It's probably one of the most important things as well, because there's an infinite amount of things to do, right? So you have to figure out what's the most important thing to do. And so when I go into work every day, I got 50 things to do. I can only do 10 of them. So what's the most important thing? And that's definitely learning how to prioritize and understanding what's important to do. That's definitely super critical.
Okay, and then what about for students who don't have any instrumentation background in their work experience? They're just out of an educational program or training program or e-tech program at Los Medanos College. And again, they don't have the work experience. What would the training be like if I were to have an opportunity to join Genentech? How does that work? What is the training like?
You want to take that, Martin, or you want me to?
Well, if you had no background at all in instrumentation or any, so
If
then
say I graduated with an associate's degree in instrumentation, but I haven't actually worked in instrumentation yet.
Oh, okay. So that's different. So now you have a lot of the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge, right? So yeah, we've taken some people and basically trained them. It's kind of like an apprenticeship here. That's fine, as long as they have the ability to learn and they have some background and understand, some basic electronics and stuff. We can train them. Gradually increase the workload. That very work. As long as the person wants to learn and is open to that, that's going to work. So we're not looking for like super highly qualified people coming in as trainees.
Yeah, we have a staff that's got, some people have, like Martin's got 25 years of experience. So, we would pair people up in the beginning, right, and kind of have them walk them through and job shadow for the first couple months, right, and just to read up all the procedures and just get familiar with the campus and where kind of everything's at. Like, these buildings are large, and there's instruments everywhere, right, and so it really is just getting familiar with the areas and getting familiar and just job shadowing, essentially, like an apprenticeship. And then as slowly as you develop the skills and gain more confidence, we would let you go out and do simple calibrations by yourself, and then onto more complex. And so you gradually be able to do everything after.
It's a slow process. You're not going to be thrown in immediately, so it's going to be a slow process. It could take a year, 2 years to gradually get you up to speed. So and we have enough resources to do that. Luckily, we have a lot of resources here. So and we have a lot of training programs. It's unbelievable support from different departments. So a lot of the key is that the individual is open to listening and learning.
Okay, perfect. That's good to know, and that's really it's really the best way to approach things instead of a sink or swim, because that can also impact the productivity of the business that you're doing and safety. So that's good to know. I do want to know now, does anybody else have another question just before I ask one or two more questions? Give some folks an opportunity here. So one of the things I would want to know in this environment and in this field is, what is the biggest challenge of working at Genentech, especially starting out? What would be the biggest challenge?
So I hear from the guys and girls that come in here over the last 15 years is the amount initially when they come here, there's a lot of procedures new employees have to actually read and understand. So there's a lot of new systems, like we've got a system called Blue Mountain RAM for recording calibration data. We have an SAP system which records all our maintenance. So you've got to be, you don't need to be a genius, but you have to be computer literate. And then, you're going to be learning a lot of different systems. We have quality systems because we are, GMP, everything's GMP here. So, we're very monitored for everything we do. So, I'd say that's basically it.
Yeah, Martin's right. It's the complexity of working in a regulated industry like pharmaceuticals. It's so complex. You have to know hundreds and hundreds of procedures and systems and how to get access, and You have to be able to follow, yeah, I mean, it really is. If you're going out to do a calibration, you're not just following the calibration procedure, right? You also have to understand all the gowning procedures that are involved. If you have to gown up and go into a clean area, you have to understand, what you do if you find an error, right? Because there's procedures around, error and resolution and things like that. I mean, how to access systems, there's procedure on accessing systems. So it's really not just following a procedure, it's knowing hundreds of procedures when you're going to have to do the work and making sure that you're doing them correctly.
So that can sound overwhelming, but it's not. It's like, you're going to be trained on that. It's not like,
Got it.
For someone coming in fresh, just
It's a
looking
lot.
at 100 procedures, you're like, wow, do I have to remember all this?
Right.
And so
That's the big one. Yeah, I agree, Greg. That seems to be the big one that when I talk to people that are here a few months.
Yep.
They're in shock for a couple of months, then they start to speak.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, that sounds fair. I mean, it's important work that you all are doing, and so it does make sense that there would be some pretty complex procedures there. Now, so I'm going to ask. This will be my. Okay, here we go. This is from Kelly Green. Are there summer only internship opportunities? Jennifer answered it quickly. Yes. Okay. And I'm assuming those would be located on the website that was shared. Okay. So if you are interested in a summer internship, they would be available on the link that Jennifer shared. And again, I'm going to send a follow-up email with that information. I do want to ask one more question if before we close out, and if no one else has another question, is I would want to know so we asked about the challenge. What about, and thanks for being upfront and honest about that, because I think it's a good heads up for us. And so I appreciate your honesty there. I would also want to know, what is the best thing about working for Genentech? What would you say is the best part of working?
For me, for me, it's the people that we're working with. The teams we have here, just really quality people at every level, in every department, cross functionality. You meet people all over the campus. As I say, 10,000 people. Obviously, we don't know all 10,000, but a lot of the people that you interact with, real quality individuals, and just the ambience, the environment, how the company looks after us. So, as I say, it's a lot of very positives. They make us work hard. That's the only problem.
Work hard, play.
I agree. Yeah, Martin. I think, I've been here for, 17 years, and it's, it's great. You go in, everybody wants to help each other out, right? And so I think that's really important. You're not kind of left on an island all by yourself, which is probably, one of the worst things I could think of about working somewhere. But yeah, everybody wants to help you out, and so you definitely have the support of everybody, and it's like a family. I mean, everybody hangs out, they go to lunch together, and definitely, the perks of working at Genentech, the benefits are great. I mean, we had, we used to have concerts every year before COVID, but I mean, we would, we would actually rent out AT&T Park, and then they would bring in, different acts, like, I don't know, Justin Timberlake, or I forgot who else, but yeah. So we would basically, So there's lots and lots of perks about working at Genentech, but I definitely think the best thing is the people that you work with. You build that relationship, and you have a fun time going into work. It's you don't wake up every day going, crap, I got to go to work.
Yeah, I'd like to add that the people for sure, and also the opportunities. I mentioned earlier, I've done a few rotations throughout my time, my time at Genentech, and being able to see different sides of the company. I've seen supply chain. I took an opportunity here working in clinical supply center before I actually took on the role as chief of staff. So it was just a great way to see other aspects. And on top of that, they do support you if you want to further your education. So in my stint, I also I got 2 other degrees. I got another undergrad bachelor's, and I got a master's as well, working here at Genentech. So you got to take those opportunities, but at the same time, you give back to the company. It's about the patients, number one, and we care about everyone. We really do. You know, I'm not just saying that, we really do. You know? I mean, you see, Martin's been here as long too. So you've got Greg, myself, and Martin. We've all been here quite a long time at Genentech, so there alone says a lot. So.
Wonderful. It sounds amazing. All right, folks. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up. Unless there's any other questions, I'll give it a chance to maybe. Aaron, did you have a question?
Yeah. Are you gonna post this recording somewhere, Cynthia?
Yes. I can follow up with everyone who registered and send the recording to. Everyone who registered for this workshop will get the recording.
Okay, great. And it'll be sent to our Insight email or whatever email we use to register.
Exactly, the email you use to register.
All right,
Okay.
great. Sounds good.
All right, folks. Thank you, Aaron. And then what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm sending a link in the chat. It's just a survey. It's a survey for our office to know how we're doing with these employer info sessions. If you'd like to see more of these info sessions, let us know in the survey and let us know how we did today. Also, I just want to thank our guest speakers. Thank you so much for being here. This was very informative. There was a lot of good information, especially for some of the programs that we specialize here at Los Medanos College with engineering, e-tech, and instrumentation. Thank you to all of the students for being here. Again, you'll get that follow-up email with all of the information that was provided. Again, you know, a link to schedule an appointment with Career Services if you're interested in that. And of course, the link to Genentech and their job and internship opportunities. All right, folks, without anything else, any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody wrap up here, and we will see you around campus, hopefully.
Thank you. Nice to meet you guys.
Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.
Okay.